The ropes sway gently as they descend into the earth, lantern light scraping across stone that has not been disturbed for millennia. The air is dry, ancient, heavy with dust and silence. Then the lead archaeologist freezes. Carved into the wall, sharp, deliberate, unmistakable, is a symbol he has spent his entire career chasing, the mark of Shazam. His voice trembles as he speaks, excitement bleeding into disbelief. This is it. Proof that the stories were not metaphors, not exaggerations, not myth. They are real. Below them, the shaft widens into something impossible. A vertical antechamber, its walls lined with dark metallic substance that gleams faintly in the lantern glow. Nth metal. The structure descends straight down, deeper than any tomb he has ever seen. This is not merely a grave. It is a constructed descent, a deliberate design. The tomb of Death Adam, sealed and undisturbed for over 3,000 years. As they lower themselves further, shelves carved into the walls come into view. Treasures, weapons, regalia, the most prized possessions of king laid out like offerings. The archaeologist studies the hieroglyphs, translating aloud. Some of these objects were not forged or claimed. They were given. The implication unsettles him. He stops himself before finishing the thought. His partner asks if the burial chamber lies below. Yes, it does. But they must proceed carefully. Lazarus is paying them to catalog every inch of this site. The partner agrees, then draws a knife. The rope is severed in a single motion. Berlin pays better. Dr. Hall falls. The lantern spins away into darkness as air tears past him. Panic flashes, then instinct. His hand scrapes stone until his fingers slam into a narrow ledge just beneath a wall-mounted weapon. A massive mace, embedded as if waiting. He catches himself, muscles screaming as he dangles above the abyss. Above him, Bradford looks down without urgency. Hall shouts his name, accuses him, calls him a Nazi. Bradford shrugs. He never knew how much gold the buggers had. Nothing personal. Just stay out of his way. Hall argues desperately. If the legends are true, the power buried here could change the course of the war. It cannot be allowed to fall into Hitler's hands. Bradford answers with chilling certainty. The way of the world was set in stone long ago. Wars are inevitable. Fighting Hitler doesn't make them the good guys. Hall's grip slips. Stone crumbles beneath his fingers. He reaches for the mace. The moment his hand closes around it, electricity erupts throughout his body. Pain explodes down his spine, through his veins, into his skull. He screams as energy floods him, as something ancient awakens and answers his touch. Above ground, chaos erupts. Peacemakers hear screams and gunfire echoing up from the pit. Orders are shouted. Ropes are thrown. Weapons are raised. As they peer down into the well, they issue commands. Hands in the air by order of the peacemakers. Another voice declares jurisdiction. This dig is the property of Lazarus Holdings. Then something rises. Dr. Hall ascends from the darkness, no longer fully human. Wings unfurl from his back, fast and metallic. He grips the giant mace, energy still crackling along its surface. Guns remain trained on him. Hall raises a hand, steadying himself. He knows what this looks like. He knows how the world reacts to things it does not understand. He speaks anyway. He's one of the good guys. In the present, high above the clouds, Superman hovers, half listening, half gone. Hawkman flies alongside him, trying to speak, to introduce himself, to establish something resembling a conversation. Superman vanishes mid-sentence. Seconds later, he returns, apologizing. A plane door fell off somewhere it shouldn't have. Hawkman begins again. Superman disappears again. Another apology. Another emergency narrowly averted. Another interruption. Hawkman's patience wears thin. He curses as Superman bolts once more. This time, Hawkman grabs him mid-flight, locking into his hand and forcing him to stop. Enough. Superman insists there are people in trouble. Hawkman counters that there are always people in trouble. They are talking now. Superman questions whether they are. Hawkman says he's used to people listening when he speaks. Superman notes Hawkman's grip strength, surprised by it. Hawkman removes the bandages from his face, revealing himself fully. Dr. Carter Hall, archaeologist, retired, born and raised in Gotham City before it went to hell. During the war, he flew, he fought, he smashed Nazi skulls from the sky. They called him Hawkman. The suit, he explains, is alien, made of nth metal from Thanagar. He has never been there himself. Then he turns the question on Superman. He asks where Superman is from. Superman reacts. Hawkman smiles. The kid just answered without realizing it. He tells Superman he has a lot to learn. Night in Metropolis. A peacemaker stands in the shadows outside a Lazarus building, watching crates being loaded onto trucks. He speaks quietly into his radio. It's happening. They're bringing the materials out now. It looks like the feds are seizing assets from the agents connected to gates, even the contents of the vault. He asks which crate matters, receives confirmation, he has eyes on it, heavy guard presence. He would need a full extraction team. Orders come back. Lady Talia. He acknowledges as you wish. He murmurs the phrase like a creed. Lazarus means forever. He opens fire. The crate explodes, releasing thin red tendrils that lash outward and infect the nearest man. Flesh is pierced. Something spreads. Back in the sky, Hawkman speaks with the wariness of someone who has seen generations burn out. People are treating Superman like the second coming. He isn't even the first man who could fly. Others existed before him. Others exist now. Too many appeared at once for coincidence. Hawkman lists figures across the country. The big bat in the east, the witch in the west, a runaway from Project Olympus, something that landed on Evergreen. Superman says he doesn't know who Hawkman is talking about. All he hears are the screams. Hawkman tells him that's how it always starts. They show up, convince themselves they're special, unstoppable, ready to change the world overnight. He lists names: Iron Monroe, Wesley Dodds, Dr. Fate, Oliver Queen. Superman doesn't recognize any of them. Hawkman says that's because they were stupid. Hawkman continues as they fly. Someone once told him the way of the world was set in stone long ago. They were right. You don't change everything overnight. If Superman wants to make a difference, he doesn't do it by basking in the spotlight, by getting photographed across the globe, saving a bus here, a plane there. Superman questions that. A response to saving people? Hawkman answers with experience. 80 years in the air, millions saved, maybe billions. Not one of them knows his name. That's how you survive. Superman asks how. A flash of memory. Bradford smashed into the wall with the mace. Back in the present, Hawkman says he can show him. The others didn't listen. He doesn't want Superman to end up the same way. Superman is a rookie. The first piece of advice: let go of the feud with Lazarus. Hawkman explains the reality. Superman founded Lazarus, but he can't destroy something that powerful. There are people who won't allow it. Trying to beat Lazarus is suicide. Superman erupts in anger. Lazarus tortured him, brutalized his friends, tried to turn him into a mass murderer. Why would he ever work with them? Hawkman interrupts, saying Superman doesn't understand the bigger picture. Then he notices the sidewise glance. Superman is about to run. Hawkman warns him, walk away now, after Hawkman stuck his neck out to come here, and they will have a problem. Superman agrees not to walk away. Then he uses his cape to seize Hawkman and flies off, dragging him behind. Hawkman curses. On a Metropolis sidewalk, Lois Lane stands confused. This can't be right. A passerby guesses she's lost, probably looking for the Daily Planet. Lois agrees. Shouldn't it be? The man points across the street at the tower with the shiny globe. She's 20 years too late. The old Planet building was turned into condos years ago. The newsroom now sits on the 8th floor of an asbestos-filled building that looks ready to collapse. He wishes her luck with the interview. Lois asks how he knew. He says he's read her work, a bit more Faulkner than Hemingway, especially when she writes about Superman, but she'll wrestle the worlds into shape. She has the goods. He introduces himself. Perry White, Metro editor for 35 years, until 10 minutes ago. Perry lights a cigar and tells a familiar story. Get rid of the grizzled old newshound. Bring in kids who'll work for ramen money. The planet was once great. Now it's the Titanic. If the Titanic were a dump with death trap elevator, journalism will break your heart. He wishes Lois luck and walks away. Her phone buzzes. Jimmy Olsen texts. He just got a job at the planet. Any idea what a Metro desk editor does? Where is she? Has she had her interview yet? Lois looks up. The sky is wrong. Red tendrils float overhead. People run. Jimmy texts again. Is she hearing a lot of screaming? High above the city, Superman apologizes to Hawkman. Something is happening in Metropolis. He stops, releases Hawkman. Superman stares. What is that thing? Before he can finish, Hawkman slams his mace into Superman's back. Superman crashes through a building, concrete and glass exploding outward. Superman rises, furious. What the hell does Hawkman think he's doing? Hawkman answers plainly, teaching him a lesson. Superman insists people below need help. Can't Hawkman hear them? Hawkman tells him to let them scream. Let's see if Superman can save himself. Superman's eyes glow bright red. He unleashes his heat vision. Hawkman shrugs it off. His mace burns as he strikes Superman again. He mocks the attack. Microwave ice? Superman spreads his cape, trying to counter. Hawkman stops it easily, electricity crackling from the mace. This isn't a peacemaker fight. Superman charges. Hawkman hammers him again and again. Pathetic, strong, but never learned how to throw a punch. Fast and clumsy is still clumsy. Hawkman learned how to fight killing Nazis, Viet Cong, and communist super spies. Without Hawkman, Superman would be dead in a week. He demands the truth. Superman was never in a real fight before the powers. Superman bleeds from the forehead. He admits it. Then he grabs the mace with one hand and draws back his fist. He has them now. The punch lands. Hawkman is driven through multiple buildings, smashing through floors before crashing into the street with a thunderous impact. A roar echoes across the city. Hawkman starts to rise. What in the name of all that's holy is that? Superman gives his ultimatum. Help save Metropolis or stay out of his way. This is the only fight that matters. They face a giant monster with multiple sets of teeth. Below them, a broken crate bears a warning. Project Parasite, infectious substance. Somewhere in Missouri, two men sit on a porch. One is Lex Luthor, confused by the generous offer. He owns a gas station, coaches Little League. Why him? The other man insists. Extensive research, perfect candidate. Lex asks if the project is government work. The man says he's shaken the hand with 10 presidents, 11 if you count the one who slapped him. He's gone into business for himself. This project focuses on one individual, Superman. Lex doesn't know the name. He prefers yard work to the news. His kids interrupt. Cake time. As they head inside, the man reiterates, money is no object. Add as many zeros as needed. In the backyard, a banner reads, Happy birthday, Lex. Lex refuses. He has everything he needs. Family. He declines. The man is disappointed. Lex offers cake and asks his name. The man says he won't be leaving. Lex isn't who he expected. He's seen another Luthor, one who throttled gods and carved his name in blood across the stars. This version lacks motivation. His face begins to transform. The transformation completes. Brainiac stands revealed, chainsaws for hands. He introduces himself, says he can be quite motivating. Let's get started. And that's it. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and comment your favorite moment down below. I'll see you next time on Superhero Explained.